really
a lot better than last one. I'm very happy that we did this. Are we ready, actually? Are we recording? Damn, dude, we started the podcast. Take a bite, don't worry. You're good. But guys, thank you guys so much for joining us on our second podcast of the Z Talks. And I'm here with the honored guest, Laivy Miller.
What up?
Yo, bro, I'm so happy that you're finally here. Getting a podcast with me, my second podcast too. So this is actually insane that I have somebody like you, on here. And today I really want to talk about. So I first talked about in my first one about being an American Israeli, going back and forth, what the differences is between living in Israel and living in America. But now I kind of want to talk to the viewers about how it is to build a career here over building a career in America. A lot of people have told me that, hey, Johnny, like, why would you want to build a career in Israel when you can make 10 times more money in America? Like, Israelis tell me to go move back to America because I'm not going to make enough money here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I think that's a little BS, I've had a lot more opportunity here. I've had, but for you, how is that? You know what I mean? Okay.
I mean, could we talk about that opportunity for a second?
Sure. So my opportunities here have come from Israel's a big networking situation, I say. I was in IDC in Reichman, now it's called. And when I was there, I met a lot of people who had a lot of connections. I learned through living in Israel that from the army, from now, I was in Samcharim. And there I learned how much your connections will bring you further along in life. Like somebody told me, you have to do the army if you're going to live in Israel, because if you don't do the army, you're not going to make it anywhere. You're not going to get a job. Nobody's going to take you seriously. You know what I mean? And that was real. Like that's a real thing here. If you don't go to the army, you don't have a network that people will say that you've done stuff within the Israeli economy. You're gonna go nowhere. And on top of that, from meeting all these people, from being given all these opportunities, that's the only reason I am where I am today. Building this podcast, having the gear that I have, having the opportunity, having the clients that I have. I mean, there's no other way to say it, but like this is the story. I met this guy named Itamar Dagan, and I stayed after class. I canceled a job that I had. I was supposed to work that night and canceled it all. And long story short, I said to him, Yalla, I'm coming to you. We're going to work together. We're going to, do stuff for free. I'll do it for free. And we'll see how it goes. And I worked for him for 2 years. And through that, he networked me, got me all the connections that I have, helped me learn how to shoot, helped me learn how to deal with the celebrity social media scenes. And really helped me build myself. He's the one who inspired me to start doing TikTok about, learning how to just make it in this world. I think that's why I love Israel more than America, because you have the Jewish situation that any Jew will help you. After you finish college and stuff, instead of just looking for a job like everybody else, as a Jew, I feel like, I'll be looking at who do I know? You know what I mean? Who do I know that works?
You also have to work to get there, and you have to show them that you can put in the effort at the same time, or else.
No, facts.
Well, anywhere,
I mean, what do you mean by that? You can finish the bite. Don't worry. I got you.
I'm saying, I think, Jewish or not Jewish, you're only going to get that good job if you're putting in the effort and you're hustling, right? As a musician, I'd say you could spend your time, chilling, going to the studio from time to time, or you could, have a schedule where you wake up, go for a run, see the outside, get inspired, do a writing session, do a studio session, do a filming session, all yourself, run a podcast, which is crazy.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think a podcast is really hard.
As you see how much it takes to do.
Crazy.
I mean, nobody else here sees it. They're just watching us,
no,
but
it's insane.
Are you hot under these lights?
A little bit, but it's okay. But I think a lot goes into just getting on that work schedule where it could put you different for opportunities, and you have to work hard for your opportunities.
So I agree with that. I mean, talking about the Israeli-American kind of difference, why would you choose to work in Israel over America? I think that's also a really important aspect in the way of, by the way, we had some guests, but it's the aspect of, yeah, you're working hard anyway, living in Israel. It's not an easy economy. It's a very difficult economy. Like to pay rent, and now I'm not here, with my parents next door being able to help me. Same for you. Your parents live in America.
Yeah, a whole different country. It's crazy.
And I can't rely on that fact that my parents are going to come here and save me. I know for a fact that if I have to do something, I have to do it. It's me. And I think a lot of Israelis have that mindset. You're not going into the army for your family. You're going to the army because you have to go to the army. That's government draft. You know what I mean? Either you're doing that or you're giving to the economy. You know what I mean? Or through national service, Shirut Leumi, as they call it in Israel. I think that builds a character of somebody who's a hard worker, somebody who can set themselves a structure. You know what I mean? I think that you don't get that everywhere in this world. And especially not in America. It's a free world where you can live your American dream, so on and so forth, where I've seen people live in the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like doing nothing. And that's what they do with their life, you know what I mean? They just wake up every morning, they go do whatever the hell and come back, and they don't have even a structure for themselves, you know what I mean? Here it's built, it's fundamental to have a structure for your life, I
think like living here for sure, like you don't know, like when the next missile will hit or when the next thing will break out, and I think it keeps people who wouldn't be motivated to like turn their day into something meaningful every day and like to live every day like it's your last, which is kind of how I chose and how I want to live mine, every day I look at like it's a new accomplishment, a new day I wake up, a new day I open my eyes. We see like so many people are like lost in this war, and how many lives are taken and how many people are hurting. And it just, when you wake up, you gotta just put everything into it like it's your last.
I'm happy you brought that up because in the way of like, you're somebody who just recently came to Israel, and you want to make a life here. You also want to build your career here, which is somewhat not easy, especially during a wartime. Like, what would have pushed you to like kind of do that? You know what I mean?
I think when I came here, I for sure didn't know the war would be a thing. Like I came here like a year ago originally for yeshiva, just like Jewish, kind of like post high school, and it was like either I like start making music, start living by myself, start like getting this straight, or like kind of just like go and throw myself in a new environment and try to inspire myself in a new way, in a new light, and see what comes out of it. And I think I didn't know necessarily that I'd be making a lot of music that year, but I just got inspired by the surroundings to like keep pushing and keep going hard. And I think that's what kept me here, was the inspiration and the people.
If you can touch on that, like inspiration and people, like that'd be awesome.
I think it's just like I said before, like everyone you see is like living every day like it's their last. And especially where I was like located for the year was in Jerusalem, by King David's grave.
Oh, okay.
King David's kever.
Yeah.
And just like Mount Zion, and like it's just a very inspiring and alive place, and like everyone.
In what way? The people, or is it like just literally an aura? I
think like literally where like where you're standing.
Okay.
It's like history unfolds, like our ancestors are on this mountain at some point. And it just kind of like the strength that you have. Like all Jews, when we pray, we face the Western Wall,
Right.
And when you're living on that mountain where everyone prays, it's like you feel this like boost and this energy and this confidence to like go and go and go. And it's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, I was actually touching on this idea last podcast I was running, is that the idea of like having people around you. Israel is kind of known for this thing, like there's not much room. Everybody's on top of each other. The roads are small to the point where all of our cars are European cars. You know what I mean? And I think that it's actually noted, like in the idea of like what you're saying about having motivation, about having, drive. I think that if I didn't live in such a heavy populated, condensed situation, I would be a lot more alone, a lot more depressed, a lot more not able to be myself and not to push myself or motivate myself to do anything in the way of like, you know, have you had that time in your life where, you know, you call a friend so you can do your laundry or clean your room or, you know, just to have somebody there, you know, just to like feel like you'll have a little bit more motivation or a little bit more drive. You know what I mean? Screenshot it. I saw that.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean to, but
No, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
no, I was checking for sure, like to see if like my girlfriend like texted me. Like I know exactly what you mean. Like it's a lot easier when you have someone like by your side supporting you every second, especially someone who loves you and like someone who can like motivate you and lift you up.
Yeah. And in Israel, I feel like that's everybody here.
Yeah.
You know, through the army, every single friend of mine through the army has still been in my life, has still always been like a light for me in the way of like, I respect and will still die for you no matter if you're on the battlefield with me or if you're just living your life. I want you to know that I'm there for you. Like, I love you. Like, I want you to succeed. You know, that's something I can't say I have felt in America. Now, I moved out of America when I was 17 years old. You know, I was very young. I'm getting a call. My mom.
Answer that.
Mom, you're on a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, you're literally in the middle of a podcast calling me, so I answered. You want to say hi to anybody?
What are we discussing in the podcast?
We're talking about how people surround us that help us inspire us to be more motivated in our life, but specifically from a standpoint of that, like in America, you can make a lot of money and people say that, but I chose, and my friend here, Laivy Miller, he also chose to move to Israel and to grow our careers here and be entrepreneurs here and be musicians here and, you know, go through all this stuff here instead of doing it in America.
I also think when you're going through it here, especially with social media these days.
Here, wait.
No, let your mom talk.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, how appropriate that I called in the middle of the podcast when you're talking about people who inspire you.
Aw, because you do inspire me, Mom. I love you.
I love you too.
Who inspires your mom? I'm curious.
Who inspires you, Mom? Just tell us quick and then I gotta hang up.
You.
Stop it.
Cute moment.
That was so cute. All right, I love you, Mom. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Wow.
No, my mom inspires me big time. And I can't believe she answered like that.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Goddamn. Even in America, I get inspiration. From America to Israel.
Do you find it hard with like the time difference?
I calculated it. You know how much time that we have with our American families? A day because of the time difference? 6 hours of light. That's how long we have all day. Every day.
It's hard.
It's hard. But I don't know. I'm one of those lucky sons that gets their mom calling them every single day. You know, recently I've been working a lot more, sadly, and I haven't been able to, you know, and then I'm getting a little emotional. But, I love my parents. You know, as much as like, you know, we have our ups and downs with our parents and stuff like that. You know, I love that this is getting in. but you know, she really is my rock. She's like, I mean, my mother adopted me. And that feeling is like, I'm choosing you. The same feeling I feel that when I'm in Israel and I'm doing the work that I'm doing is like, I chose this. You know what I mean? I could live anywhere. You know, I have an American passport. I can live anywhere, but I chose to live here.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Same way she chose me, same way she's choosing to tell me that I'm her inspiration somehow. You know? Crazy.
Deep.
That's deep. But what were you saying before about the
I totally forgot.
It was something about like I like being a model or being like somebody like motivates you.
I don't remember.
No. But like, yeah, so just back to the main point of like, you know, we both chose to like make careers here in Israel. You know, I mean, you're doing music. I do some music. I do, you know, obviously production also. But my end goal is to just, you know, build myself a community that I can help and be like that kind of person for them. You know, as much as other people have been there for me like that. You know, like what are some of your goals and aspirations to like kind of grow in Israel?
It's hard to say. I think like for sure now, I'm like focused on just like growing everywhere.
Yeah, you were saying that you go with the
like,
flow.
Yeah, I go with the flow. I'm not trying to limit myself. Like obviously this is my place right now. And I hope for way longer where I stay and where I live, and hopefully I can even raise my kids here one day, which would be a blessing.
Bezat Hashem.
And I guess, but I'm always like trying, like, you know, my music is in English. My music is in English and Hebrew. I mean, the inspiration in the community here touches me, and it allows me to like just create. And that's really what I love about it.
Wow.
Like the people, the way they're raised here with like technology and everything, like it's very different. Like, I don't know, like kids here are riding like ATVs in like backyards and like, you know, wherever it is. Like, I don't know, I feel like the community here is a lot more stronger for sure.
Have you gone to camping with Israelis on the Jordan River or something like that?
Not yet.
But you've heard about it.
Yeah, I've heard about it. And I do want to.
Yeah.
I do want to.
I mean, that's...
I'm big on camping. When I was younger, my mom took us on like a 2-day wilderness backpacking trip. And it was insane. We would like tent out every night. We would like eat like canned food like, out of a backpack.
So you're ready for the army, I'm telling you that.
I don't know yet, but
That's
see.
literally what you do in the army.
What, you eat out of a backpack?
You eat out of cans with a backpack, camping every single night.
That's crazy.
I'm not joking with you. That's actually crazy.
That sounds fun.
It really is fun. It really is fun. I just have like a few more questions, you know, to kind of close this up. Is like, what do you think is like your biggest highlight so far in Israel that would have overshined everything that would have made you ever think about moving back to America or something?
Well, it's not that I don't think about moving back to America.
Okay.
Like, I think, like, as an artist, and I also connected to a lot of the people there, you know? And I want to develop my music everywhere. I want to even, like, America. I don't know. I want to go everywhere. You know, I want to go to the UK. I want to go to Europe. I want to go everywhere and make music. And I think that right now, like, this is my place where I need to be. There's a community, the Jewish community that we're all a part of, that's in need of help. And I think when the time is right, I think we're going to all, like, branch out. And I don't know. I want to just dive into all the culture.
Wow.
I want to make something new.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm in the same mindset. I want to live in Israel, base myself out of Israel, but, you know, open this production company all over the world, you know, like wherever the biggest ROI is, and then enjoy their culture. You know, I think that there's a big... not psychological, but what's the other word? Sociological, right? Mm-hmm. About the economies, about the cultures, about relationships, friendships. I think that that's something is so beautiful in our world, not just in Israel. Now, Israel, I got to be honest with you. I think that it's such a role model to how, you know, people can love, help, and build community. But I think the most important part about all of that is like, yeah, you know, there's so much more to enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm never ever going to come back to Israel. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm going to base myself out of Israel. This is where I started. This is where I grew up. This is where my heart is. You know, I serve for this country. You know what I mean? Like this is literally my country.
How was that, by the way?
I think that that's one of the reasons why I'm choosing to stay here. You know, I'll be honest, this is how it worked in Israel. I came here for yeshiva. I went to Laivy Torah in Beit Shemesh. From there, I moved to Jerusalem when I drafted into the army into Tzam Chanim. I drafted through Machal, but I got helped from my yeshiva, which was starting to be a yeshivat hesder, which means that, you know what that means? But that means that people are learning there for specifically going into the army as a religious person. So they're learning also the halacha, also the laws, the Jewish religious laws of how to be in the army. Like I learned that if the radio calls and I'm with a non-religious Jewish guy, I'm supposed to still answer that first because it's not about like, oh, he's not religious, he's going to answer anyway, and I want to be religious. It's like, this is my job. Like, this is what I have to do. You know what I mean? And that's like, that was cool for me to learn. You know, it's like very much, you know, not about like trying to get around, kind of skip the corners, all that, beat around the bush. It's straight up, this is how it is. And from there, you know, I finished the Army in 2019. I drafted in November 2017, finished July of 2019. And then I went straight into Reichman, learning here. So I moved from Jerusalem to Herzliya, and I was living in the dorms over there. And still through that time, I found all my friends living in Herzliya, Renana from the army. And then we were hanging out, you know what I mean, all the time. And I still felt like there was still a part of me being in the army. Now, I was trying to think about if I was going to do Miluim and that, you know, so on and so forth. It didn't work out because of my accident. I had an accident, you know, about 3 years ago, right? My first year of college. Broke both my legs and my back, falling, you know, 35 feet, 8.5 meters. And long story, the math is probably so off. But
Thank God you're healthy and with us right now.
but that's what I'm saying is like the medical system took care of me like I was the freaking prime minister. First of all, socialized medicine, I didn't pay a cent. For all of that surgery in America, I would be broke. You know what I mean? So like, and then from that, I moved to Renana, moved into a Jewish religious community where I'm not religious, and everybody here is like accepting of me. I go to meals right across the hallway, right over here, to my neighbors. They have me over. Their kid comes over all the time to hang out with me. He's like, my best friend's 4 years old, 3 years old. You know, like, it's hilarious. Like, you know, and I realized that this is really it. Like, from the army, from all these taliqs, like, this is it. I'm living where I need to be, you know? And the army was the best thing. I always call it, it's high school or camp with guns. You know what I mean?
That's not the best term.
It's great. It's great. It's honestly
Yeah,
great.
I don't think it's high school or camp with guns anymore. You know, I like.
Oh, right now it's not. But like when I was
don't
like
know.
learning and everything, like after we finished our training, it's called you do go through Tiranu, which is your boot camp. Then you go through a Mumikaden, which is advanced training, and then you go into service and all that. And after we finished advanced training, have you ever been in high school where your teachers get up on stage? And then the students come and they make a whole entire skit about making fun of their teachers. So we did that. We did that in, you know, we had a high-end commander, the Mempe, which is the one that runs the whole entire platoon, and he gets up and he has a lisp. Okay, so the guy gets up to make fun of him. He's like, you know, and we all die of laughter. We're dying of laughter. You know, we're sitting there in army uniforms, guns, and everything, and we're just having the time of our life. You know what I mean?
Making fun of this guy. Who has a
Making
list.
fun of the highest ranking officer on the whole entire base.
Yeah, maybe take that out of the podcast.
No, it's totally fine. Like honestly, like this was hilarious, and I had a great time. You know, because it wasn't about, you know, making fun of him. It was more of like, you know, we're breaking our distance. We're getting to a point where we're a part of the family of the army. You know what I mean? I think that's why I think it's like a high school, you know, because like that's a little childish. But like for me, it was like I realized why they do that. You know what I mean? I realized that it's for breaking that distance, telling you that, you know, we're all friends here. You got a hair. Hey, your hair's long, dude. I'm trying to get there. But
I keep cutting it and it keep grows back like
are you serious?
at a crazy unit. Like it's insane. I don't know what to do.
So last question, just to close off the podcast. First of all, thank you so much. Really appreciate that you came on
Been
here.
a pleasure.
Really. And I really do want to thank Ariel. He's been a beast. He's our camera guy and our editor and everything. He is a beast.
Yeah, boy.
But yeah, so final thing is like, you know, as personally, I feel extremely happy I'm here. And like, I'm really excited to see where my future and where my career goes, you know? And just give me a little thought about that. Like, what do you see your future, you know, for in Israel?
It's a good question too.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think I'm like really just living in the present, to be honest. I'm really like creating every day new sounds. This is my home right now. This is my home forever, you know? And I think that, I don't know, I see myself maybe like doing shows soon, like getting out with the crowds here, like spreading like joy and happiness, maybe like popping around to some hospitals, some bases, trying to like do something to just like warm people's hearts, you know?
Wow.
And just make music that resonates with the people and that resonates with myself.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, bro.
Sorry, I'm like.
No,
making
how
my
are the
hands here.
chips, by the way?
Chips are.
I didn't even dig into this. I was so
I don't know
like
if we can
into the
name them, but
conversation. No.
understand.
We don't have to talk about it. But we are not sponsored yet. So if you guys want to sponsor, let us know. But we got Laivy Miller here. Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you,
keeping
guys.
tuned on the second podcast. And as you know, catch you on the flip side.
Love, bless.
Great.